Okay, using Desmos.com to graph. So I have right here some examples of some lines or an assignment where you might be asked to graph and sketch the graph. And understanding the principles of graphing, the y-intercept and the slope, help us to be able to do that. Once we've done that, we can come over here, and this is the website called Desmos.com. And in this website, I'm going to show you kind of how to do it. So once you're here, it opens up and it just kind of gives you a box right here. You can use this website to do basic math like 7 plus 5, and it will tell you what it equals. So you can use it like a basic calculator, but for today's video, we're going to use it to show us the graph of these lines. Now, we have to type it in exactly how it's written. So here is the keyboard, and you can use this keyboard or you can use the keyboard on your computer, just your computer, and you can type it in. And we're going to type in, so it's going to be y equals, and then 7 over 2. So we can use the fraction line, but then we have to use the over arrow so that we can get up here so that the x doesn't just belong in the denominator. Minus 2. So here we have a picture of that graph that goes right here. The slope, it went up 7 over 2. And Desmos is really cool. It can show us different features like where the y-intercept is at 0, -2, or the x-intercept. This one's a fraction right here. So it kind of helps us so that we can find points to graph. We can change the color by clicking and holding on the circle if you want to change the color. And you can even take screenshots of this graph and insert it into your worksheet, which is kind of fun and kind of helpful sometimes. It will do things like vertical lines, horizontal lines. This one's going to be a horizontal line, y equals -5 right here. It's asking us if we want boundaries. We don't. We just wanted to see the graph. You can click X to get the graph to disappear, and you can start typing the new graph. Y equals, again, 1 divided by 4 over arrow X plus 2. And we can see what this line looks like, how it's moving, how it has a positive slope, up 1 over 4. Its y-intercept, or it crossed the graph right there at +2. Okay, to see how it changes, you could +1. You could put -5. You can see how that moves the exact same line up and down on the y-axis. Okay, very useful for times when we need to find maybe where the two lines intersect. So maybe we need to type in another line, and this time maybe we want to find out where that line and this line intersect. And this one says y equals 6 divided by 5 over arrow x plus 1. And then you can click on the point where the two lines intersect, and that will show you where the solution to both equations are. Okay, very, very useful. This is slope-intercept form. So sometimes when we get asked to graph lines, we don't get asked to graph them with slope-intercept form. Instead, we get asked to graph them with something like standard form. And this is where Desmos also comes in hugely useful, because we can take this information and we can double check to make sure that our graph is correct. So we type it in exactly as it reads. This one says 7x plus y equals 5. And here's this graph. It has a y-intercept of 5, and this one is going to have a slope of, looks like we went down to right about there. That's a good crossing spot. To make the graph bigger or smaller so that maybe it's easier for us to see where what the slope would be, you use those plus and minus features right there up on the side. So this one, I can see I went down from 5, so I went down clear to right here where it was -1, and, or excuse me, -2, and I went over 1. So it looks like 7, -7 was our slope on that one. Okay, so it gives us information if we wanted to check and see if we had manipulated our equation correctly. So maybe we had figured out that the new form of the line was -7x plus 5. We could see that we did it correctly by making the lines appear and disappear. Okay, and then we can make that one disappear. So we can see that we did do it correct, that that's exactly right. So we can use this function or this, this program to type any of the equations as they're written. Even ones like this is actually not a function. For those of you that remember our thing, it's a vertical line, so it wouldn't pass the vertical line test, right? And maybe we can't see where these two lines intersect, so we can zoom out so that we can see better. So again, I was just clicking on the zoom out button. So that's Desmos in a nutshell.